At some point in my car's life, it lost its engine cover. I know it's just a piece of plastic and isn't necessary for the car to function properly, but I wanted to get a new one. I did some Googling and found the price of a new cover was prohibitive. I don't want to pay hundreds of dollars for a piece of plastic. So I decided to check my local junkyard. This was a first for me. I've never been to a junkyard before. I used a search tool on their site and found 7 cars on the lot that might have the part I was looking for. I kept screenshots of the cars on my phone, grabbed some gloves and some tools, and headed there that weekend. When I arrived, I had to wait in line to check in. Normally there's a $3 fee to get in, but it was Valentine's Day, and one of the people ahead of me paid the fee for everyone behind him. After he paid my entrance fee, I got my hand stamped and was free to explore the lot. On the way in, I noticed a lot of wheelbarrows available for people to use, but since I was only looking for a plastic engine cover, I didn't take one. Once I was on the lot, it took me a minute to wrap my head around the layout. It's a giant loop, with rows climbing to the back fence and then descending back to the front. Once you get the rhythm of the grid, finding the cars is easy enough. I made my way to the first Elantra, but it didn't have the part I needed. It was interesting to see how much had been stripped off of it. I headed to the second car, but I came up empty again. There were lots of parts missing from this one, too. The gas cap was on the floor near the gas pedal for some reason. In the trunk, I found a busted sun visor. I suspect this is a common failure part for this generation of Elantra. I actually have a separate video on how I replaced a broken sun visor in my car, so I'll provide a link to that video for you if you're dealing with the same thing. Next, I checked the third and fourth cars on the list. One had an engine cover, but part of the top left corner was missing, so I left it for the next person. The other car was another empty lead. I only had 3 cars left on my list. In the trunk of the 5th car, I finally found another engine cover. I have no idea what it was doing in the trunk, but it was in good shape, except for a small crack. It had all of the rubber grommets and it fit the engine. I still wanted to check the last 2 cars just in case. On the way, I came across some older cars. They weren't missing many parts, probably because there isn't much demand for parts from cars that are that age. Car number 6 had a cover, but it was on the ground a few feet away. It felt thinner than the other one I found, and it was also cracked. I didn't get any video of the last car because there were people removing parts from it, but I did find another cover there. This one was even better than the one I already had. There were no cracks in the plastic. I traded up, leaving the cracked one behind and taking the pristine one to the exit. On the way out, I also found this Pokemon card. I had to wait in line to check out because the people in front of me had a lot of parts. When it was my turn, they asked if I wanted to purchase a warranty. Because it's an engine cover, I declined. If I had purchased one, they would have marked the cover with a pink pen to signify that it was now under warranty. The cover cost $17.35, which is a fraction of the cost of a new one. My hands were filthy, but fortunately they had a hand washing station right at the exit. When I got home, I washed the cover with a hose and dried it with some rags. It was pretty filthy from sitting in the mud at the yard. Once it was cleaned up, I placed it on the engine. Here it is. I realize it's not completely necessary, but I like the look of it. I'm not a big car guy, but being around the spare parts makes me see the appeal of restoring a car. Maybe that's a project I'll tackle at some point. Anyway, that's all for this video. I hope it gave you an idea of what to expect if you've never been to a junkyard. Thanks for watching.